Theoretical perspectives have been used within the foundations of the EYFS within children's development to implement changes within an environments and actions of those responsible for their education. Theoretical perspectives have opened the opportunities for practitioners and other professionals within child development and care to create a better understanding of the behaviors present within children through the use of research depending upon experiments which were used during the tried and tested stages of the theories. When practitioners are able to comprehend the process of a child's mind, it allows effective learning to take place through the use of support and effective planning by understanding where children are placed within their learning. The first stage of cognitive development begins with the sensory-motor stage from ages birth to 2 years. As through early life experiences, children acquire knowledge and understanding through the use of sensory startled responses to their reflexes as the children begin to interact with the environments around them to discover and explore new sensations. This stage of development is implemented within neurological science as the informative stage of proving the schemas within the brain with information to build up on further on in life, which impacts upon memory recall through those first experiences. Piaget has broken this stage of development down into subcategories as there is so much growth happening within this stage. He additionally further believed that to move from this stage, the children would need to show an understanding of object permanence. The second stage of cognitive development begins at ages 2 through to 7 years old, as children then begin to have symbolic thinking abilities where they will use language to represent objects. However, through symbolic thinking, children of this age range may tend to have thoughts within concrete term beside this. This is why this stage is called the pre-operational stage. Jean Piaget states that play is the answer to how anything new comes about. Pretend play is crucial during this stage as children will grasp the understanding of ideas, assisting within understanding viewpoints of others. The third stage of cognitive development begins at ages 7 through to 11 years old. It is called the concrete operational stage as through this stage, children are more apparent in using logic within their thinking, and during this egocentrism will begin to fade and are therefore now able to have an understanding of conservation. For example, knowing that objects move to a different appearance remains the same in quantity. Lastly, the fourth stage, known as the formal operational stage, begins at ages 12 and onwards. This stage consists of an increase within the ability to use deductive reasoning through the use of an increase within logical thinking. This assists the adolescents within systematic planning of future events and possibilities. Piaget did not view children's intellectual abilities as being just viewed as a process, though however thought of this as children's environments adding to the knowledge upon their knowledge gradually as the brain was growing. This is known as schemas. Schemas allow the developing brain to store new information provided by experiences and to allow modification upon further experiences onto those existing schemas. Piaget viewed these abilities as being in separate categories of knowledge, known as assimilation and accommodation. Piaget's theoretical perspective upon the cognitive development within stages reflecting upon neurological science has had an impact on the ways children are viewed, and how practitioners should reflect upon their practice within settings. A large example of this would be the observation and planning cycle. Jean Piaget's research upon the neurological science within children's brain growth opened up a change of perspectives within the behaviors present within children and their abilities to complete tasks asked of them relating to the stage of development they are placed at relating to their age. This assists practitioners within the planning cycle of observations, as the children will not be asked upon challenges that they are unable to comprehend due to their rate within the sequence of development. In addition to this, Piaget believed that children learn through trial and error, which assists within knowledge of the world through experiences. which implemented repetition within the classrooms during observations to compare and contrast the children's capacity for learning through mistakes. The environments and activities used within settings are through a range of experiences for children to build upon existing schemas. Children in settings may be given sensory activities with short words through actions with visual aids in order to have the meaning understood within the pre-operational stage due to Piaget's theory. There are many other well-known theorists who have contributed to the foundations of the EYFS through their research on children's development and the neurological science impacting upon development within the behaviors of children. Albert Bandura developed a social learning theory on the behaviors of children through the imitation of others. He experimented this through the Bobo doll study. During this, 3 groups of children were shown videos of an adult being physically abusive towards the Bobo doll, with different repercussions for the actions used. Through this, the children not only imitated the actions of the adult but additionally copied the hostile language used by the adult if the adult did not receive a form of punishment for their actions. This suggests that children do not role-play completely from imagination, though however place experiences by actions imitated by adults around them into role-play. Bandura's theory has additionally had a profound effect upon behaviors present when positive and negative reinforcements are placed after the actions of the child. An example of the social learning theory being used within early years settings and the EYFS would be practitioners presenting respect for all within the environment, showing the children positive behaviors and cooperative work. Furthermore, emotional states additionally weigh in on Bandura's theory regarding how children act in relation to role models' expression of dismay.
It was once widely believed that seeing others vent aggression would drain the viewer's aggressive drive. As you can see, exposure to aggressive modeling is hardly cathartic.
Arnold Giselle conducted scientific observations of children, developing the maturation theory. Giselle is responsible for milestones being implemented within the frameworks of the EYFS within physical growth and development. He identified these milestones as the Gesell developmental schedules. Arnold Giselle believed that children's development was not a result of the environments surrounding them. However, he believed that a stable environment was important for children to be able to develop relating to their biological genetics, as he believed that the human body possesses the information needed for development prior to birth. Through child observations, Arnold categorized behaviors of the most influential to children and young adults into 10 columns which he called gradients of growth. Lev Vygotsky developed his own proximal development theory which considered language and communication abilities through the use of a child's learning and environments. Vygotsky believed that a child's ability to grasp language was not only consisting of the exposure to words, but additionally related to the interdependent process of growth between thought and language as a result of social experiences. Furthermore, Noam Chomsky was another theorist who studied language and communication development in similarities to Vygotsky. Chomsky believed that children are given an optimal age to learn language, commonly known as the window of opportunity. He believed that it would be difficult and may even be impossible for children to learn languages after the age of 10. He additionally believed that children have an innate ability to assist within acquiring knowledge, maintaining the assumption that children would then be able to learn how to speak with no adult support from the use of the innate language. Vygotsky did not believe this, as Vygotsky believed that children are in need of a more knowledgeable other to be dependent upon within the window of opportunity to learn language. This has impacted upon the EYFS as it has created language-rich environments for the children to develop their language and communication skills by being surrounded by language, and additionally applying a key person to all children to assist through the window of opportunity. An event which stands by what Vygotsky believed, going against what Chomsky believed regarding adult support, would be the case of Jeannie Wiley. Jeannie Wiley was an abused child who was isolated completely from the age of 20 months old. The abuse lasted until Jeannie was 13 years old. Jeannie was subjected to mental and physical abuse by her father. Jeannie would be strapped into a potty chair whilst wearing a straitjacket every day and would be deprived of human contact. Susan Curtis, a psycholinguistic who bonded with Jeannie as an attempt to reverse the damages caused to Jeannie's language development, made progress with Jeannie. She showed signs of learning language, as Jeannie would understand few words within negative command intonation, being able to focus on single words through gestures. From the use of support shown by Susan Curtis, Jeannie progressed onto combining words into the emotions and thought process she felt. However, Jeannie began to regress due to the trauma impacted upon her and the environments surrounding her. Susan Curtis was then prevented from being in contact with Jeannie following a lawsuit by Jeannie Wiley's mother.
She learned tons of words. She has an enormous vocabulary. But language is not words. Language is grammar. Language is sentences. How do you make a sentence? What can be a sentence? What is a sentence? How do you automatically know something's a sentence? So it wasn't because she was cognitively deficient. In other respects, it was because she was cognitively deficient in this island of human mind, the mental faculty that we call grammar.
Theoretical perspectives are greatly important within the environments supporting child development, as their research founded upon the theories have contributed to the foundations of the frameworks surrounding child development. Theoretical perspectives have impacted upon the current frameworks within child development in many ways. For example, secure foundations are placed within learning and development opportunities which have been planned based around the individual child relating to their rate of development. To support this, provided is an example of theoretical perspectives being implemented within practice of placement work. As the frameworks of the EYFS have used research conducted by theoretical perspectives, practitioners within my placement are known to apply positive relationships in enabling environments, as children are known to imitate behaviors. This is applied with the use of welcoming environment and using manners and reasoning when problem solving with others. In addition to this, positive reinforcements are used within settings to initiate a repetition of positive behaviors. The theories are important as it allows practitioners and guardians to be able to have a comprehension of understanding within the child's thought process, skills, behaviors, and development. This allows practitioners and guardians to be able to assist and place support within the child's development when necessary. In conclusion, theoretical perspectives are greatly important to the reasoning behind practitioners' roles provided by the frameworks of child development. I believe that through the conducted research has provided practitioners and other adults with a better understanding of the development of children, which in turn allows support to be placed when necessary to further the child's development to assist within a smooth sailing of education.